Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katy.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows, endorsed the right choice winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards.
Back by popular demand, we have Brittany Arizmendi, who is the engagement officer for downtown Hagerstown. And thank you for coming back, for starters. We enjoyed having you here so much last time, and thanks for coming back again and being on the show with us.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be back.
And is your attire intentionally seasonal, given what we're talking about?
And I almost brought and wore a Santa hat, but I didn't.
Why didn't you?
I should have. I actually have an elf costume.
You definitely should have worn it, yes.
This was tamed down for me.
So it's kind of an in-between.
Yes.
Okay.
How much goes into the elf costume? Is it like a full dress and the boots and everything?
Yes, and it has stockings. It's not extreme, but
Katy loves extreme when it comes to
I'm a little bummed that wasn't what happened today, but that's all right. But tonight's a big night. I remember when you were here the last time, Brittany, you were telling us about the U.S. Capitol tree making a stop in Hagerstown, and that was something I had never heard of, and now it's hard to believe that it's here already. Yeah. So walk us through what everybody can expect tonight.
Well, first of all, I will be changed into my elf costume for the festivities. So the Capitol Christmas tree is supposed to be escorted downtown at 5:30. That's being escorted onto South Potomac Street, right in front of the Maryland Theater, by the South High Marching Band and Santa Claus, who is on a motorcycle that looks like Rudolph.
Wow.
Yes, so we're excited about that. And then we just invite the public to come out. There's a large banner on the truck that everyone can sign as it makes its way down to Washington, D.C. At 6 p.m., we'll have a more official ceremony, which will include some of our elected leaders. Miss Maryland is hosting the event, so we're excited to welcome her. Students from Barbara Ingram School for the Arts will be performing a song. So really just we want it to be a community event, invite everyone out. It's free to attend, and it's just for 2 hours.
And then the tree will immediately go on to its next stop after that?
It's staying overnight nearby, and then I think it has one more stop before it lands in D.C.
Oh my gosh, that is really, really cool. Yeah. And hopefully everybody can get out and experience that. And I love the fact that it's free. And
Isn't Andy going to be there?
Andy is going to be there.
See,
yes.
Andy, our very own Andy will be there tonight as well. Nothing sports to cover, but hey, this is big doings in Hagerstown.
Yes, it is.
And then once this wraps up, walk us through what's coming up next in Hagerstown.
Yeah, so tonight essentially kicks off our holidays in Hagerstown. Normally it wouldn't be until Friday. So Friday night we have Holly Fest, which is our youth performance at the Maryland Theater. Mm-hmm. I think we still have about 100 tickets left, so we are ticketing this year, but it is free. You just need to call the Maryland Theater to reserve that. And then Saturday, we have our holiday market and our downtown tree lighting, which the tree was placed yesterday. Our light department's working hard on that. Nice. And then as we go throughout the next several weeks throughout the holidays, Small Business Saturday, we're doing a pop-up shop. We'll have deals and specials at our local restaurants and shops. We are doing a pop-up shop at 60 West Washington, which will have about 14 vendors on November 30th, December 7th, and December 14th. December 7th, we're doing a downtown holiday cookie crawl, which that event's actually sold out.
Sure.
So this is our first year.
You don't have room for two more?
We might be able to squeeze you in. But that event sold out. It's our first year doing it, so it looks like that's something that people are interested in.
Won't be the last year.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then, of course, our Chris Kindle Market, which is hosted by a different organization. That's always a very popular event. That's December 13th and 14th in University Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
Take us through the Holly Fest, because one of my fondest memories from childhood is I only ever attended one Holly Fest at the Maryland Theater. And when I walked in, of course, it was packed. Mm-hmm. And back then there were no tickets. You just came in, which obviously I see why you had to go a ticketed route. But I remember being a kid and seeing a largely adult audience. There were some kids my age, and my initial thought was, this isn't going to be anything that It was amazing. Mm-hmm. There was some comedy. There was obviously tons of local flair to it. but it was just a really great holiday event that will always stick in my mind as one of my favorites. And I'm assuming not much has changed when it comes to that.
I'm glad you said that because this year it's actually all local dance studios. Our goal is to include as many different types and styles of art as possible. So this year we don't have any comedy, but we do have 7 different dance studios, all different styles of dance. We also, what I'm excited about, we have a student from Barbara Ingram that's going to be hosting and emceeing this, which is the first time we've ever had a student do that. And then we also have students from Barbara Ingram Visual Arts and their computer game and development classes that design backdrops. So we kind of added some different elements since Barbara Ingram didn't exist. Back in the day. So we've tried to really include those students, and it's also an opportunity for different studios who may not get to perform there during their normal recitals, an opportunity to perform on the big stage at the Maryland Theater.
Can you remember any of or share with us some of the studios that anybody was? Is there like A&B Dance Dimensions from Waynesboro? I say that because my wife
was going to
work
say, you know that one.
We have City Ballet, which is downtown. We have Bloom Dance Studio. We have Dance in Time, Ballet and All That Jazz, On Stage Performance, HCC. Who am I missing?
It really runs the gamut of
Yes, it does.
all of them.
All over the county,
area,
yes. And
That's
even a few outside.
Does Hagerstown ever do a historic home tour?
Glad you brought that up. We don't do historic homes, but we do historic houses of worship. So that's always the day after Christmas. So December 26th from 3 to 7, pretty much all of the historic churches in downtown open their doors. Some of them have refreshments, some of them have live music, and the architecture is absolutely stunning in these houses of worship. We have a synagogue, we have several churches, so it's just a great opportunity to walk downtown. It's one of my favorite events, honestly, because it's usually crispy outside, it's cold, and you walk in these churches, you get to see the beautiful stained glass, the architecture. But maybe that's something we can work on. It's a historic
Katy,
homes tour.
She liked the idea of being able to go to people's homes and have food in their homes for free.
Of course, I do like anything free.
She'll walk in, what's for dinner?
How many participating places do you have for that event?
I think we have 10 this year. Last year, I think we had 11 or 12. It just depends on the availability because it's all volunteer based of the members at the different houses of worship. So it really is a true community effort to get everyone out there, especially the day after Christmas. You may be out of town, so we're very thankful that we have that organized.
I think it's a great idea to have something to do
the day after Christmas.
Because most people, hopefully, are off.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's the quote-unquote Christmas hangover, and you don't have anything to do, usually.
And this is a great, a nice leisurely stroll.
Exactly.
You walk off a few calories from the night before.
Right.
And yeah, that's great. You may have just answered my next question, but I was going to ask you personally, what do you look forward to the most every year? But would it be the historic tour?
Yes, but outside of this job, we actually host Christmas carriage rides at my house in downtown Williamsport. So we have people board the carriages right out in front of our house and ride through Williamsport Park, Byron Memorial Park, to see the lights there. Then they circle back around and we have a bonfire, hot chocolate, and cookies.
Sorry, when is this?
When is that?
I think our tickets might be sold out.
But I'm the owner.
You do. So we do that usually 5 days. So it's December 12th and 13th, and then the 18th, 19th, and 20th, and it's in the evenings.
That's wonderful.
Those days.
Yeah, that is magical.
And what I love about it is we get to meet people from all over. People drive 2 to 3 hours to come to this. So we just get to meet people from all over, hang out with them in our backyard, and it's just a fun time.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm seeing more and more people who are opening up their personal homes or land and doing, not quite to that extent, but good for you. There's a gentleman that I know who has basically made his home a walk-through Christmas wonderland. Wow. And he takes it so seriously. He dresses as Santa. He's there for pictures all the time. His wife makes hot cocoa. She's Mrs. Claus. But it's just, we talked just last week about how, Christmas during COVID was, well, you can't do anything. And with COVID, you couldn't do anything, period. But now, seemingly every year, obviously we're thankfully back to normal now, but every year, more and more things that you never saw even before COVID are happening, where it's that welcoming in the community to your homes. I think it's amazing.
I think COVID allowed people to get more creative and to offer options. We started thinking differently.
Right.
We did do this pre-COVID. We have a space in the back that we eventually want to open to host small events. So this was our way. That space is not ready yet, but it was our way of getting the community associated with where we are, who we are, so that when we do one day open, that they already know, oh, that's the place that does the carriage ride.
Yeah. Wow. Something I've always wondered, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, how does Hagerstown or any other small town choose the tree that goes up in the city square or whatever?
That's a really great question. So some years we had people just randomly call the city and say, hey, I have this tree that's been in my yard. Our light department usually goes out and looks at different trees to see if we think it's going to be a good fit. So we have 2 trees, one at City Park and one in the square. So we actually had a gentleman this year reach out to us. So that tree's going in the park this year. So we were left without one downtown. I put a call out, and someone from Greencastle reached out to us, and we went and looked at it, and yesterday they rolled it into downtown.
An out-of-state tree?
I know. Keep it on the
No,
DL.
that's great. I think it's awesome that would happen. That's community. That's what we've said before with several different guests that we've had recently, is how the lines between Greencastle, Hagerstown, Chambersburg, Waynesboro are all so blurred. And it's just one big community. I think that's great.
A funny story about that. My hometown, this was probably 5 or 6 years ago, brought the tree in, set it up, and it was a very, very bad-looking tree. It was not good. And the community complained so much, they actually took the tree down and had to put up a different tree.
Wow.
I think it made national news. It was in my hometown, and people were so upset about that tree. And that's why I always thought, well, how do they choose it? How did that get past so many people that thought this is going to be a good tree?
We had one of those in Waynesboro one year. It was really, really bad. And I remember I made the comment that somebody just walked out and saw there was an ugly tree that they just wanted to take out of their yard and said, hey, come get this one, you can have it.
Publicity for the town, too. I mean,
Right.
that everybody remembers that area because of the bad tree.
Yes.
But regardless, tonight we have the big event, and Andy will be there. And thank you so much for spending some time with us today on Let's Talk Tri-State and telling us about what's going on in Hagerstown.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
And I'll be in touch about the carriage ride,
Okay.
even though you're sold out.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
Coming up, we're going to take a look at sports, and it's all powered by 2A Arms LLC, 2A and PA Firearms and Freedom.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.